Right. Good evening, everyone.
Good
So,
evening, sir. Good evening.
right. Okay. Good evening. So, last week we discussed about how to create a query finally, right? And we discussed about different kinds of conditions that we can go through using a query, right? And in there, we have learned that the query will be able to help us of filtering or like selecting some particular data regarding our need. Uh, like it will be easy to create with a query. So the final output of a query is going to be a table, right? Like we used to store the data, right? But it's not a kind of a table which is built inside the database, like that we have done as student class and all these things. So it is just a temporary output or a temporary view of the things that we have requested from the database, right? So regarding that, this kind of an output you saw like with different data, right? So the query is giving that kind of an opportunity to create the output that we want. And again, remember, it's temporary. And this is the format that the output has been generated. So today, we are going to learn about the reports, like how to build a particular report using the database, right? So when it comes to the reports, like it's going to be the last object that we are going to talk about, right? And the reports are going to be the components which we can present to the to some particular person or to some particular institute or to some particular audience in a very readable and very attractive format, right? So uh, since we are like in generally we are having a report in a printable format, so using the access software, what we are trying to do is we are trying to create a particular format or a particular output which is able to be printed and which is good to be printed, right? So it's in a it's a formatted way of having our particular output. Now if you compare the report output, I'll show you a report output. This is kind of a report output, right? And with a table output. Now this is another report that they have generated, the output that's there that they can generate. So if you compare this with this particular output, it's the same data that they are going to have almost, right? So like the difference between this output and the this particular output is like this is formatted very well, and it's good to get printed and it's good to present or good to introduce to some particular person, right? So you can have a better idea about what this is. So we can use icons, we can use headers, we can use more space in between the fields, right? And some table formattings can be arranged. Like over here, we can apply the date and the page numbers and all these things. But if you are going to print something like this, it's going to be exactly like this, right? So like there will be a selected cell, or a selected row, particular thing, and it's in a table format. Like it's not nice comparing to this particular output. So what are we trying to do is using the access. Today we are trying to take an output something like this. Right. So let's start the access or the database that we have created for weeks now. This is the database that we are working with. So I'm double clicking it. So you can see there are 5 tables that we have created when we are talking about the table creation and the relationships. And there are 2 forms, like we create that object to enter data into a particular table without opening the table. And the third object that we learn is the query, right? So all these things can be created using the create button, right? The tables, the queries, the forms. Now, today we are going to learn about the reports, and we are not going to learn about the macros in our level, right? It is something advanced. So what you are trying to create is a report. So in like in the previous object, uh, I can use this particular command to create a report regarding some particular table, and I can use report design, so where I can create a report from the scratch. And the blank report, I can take a blank space and create my own report by placing my own details in particular places with the help of access. And report wizard will help you to create a report uh, like without being like having an extra effort. uh, Wizard will help us. This is the way that you are going to do this. All right. And yeah, there are some labels as well. All right. So let's go with the first. Let's go with the report button. All right. So this particular report will create a report regarding the selected form, which is the class form. Right. So if I select the class table and ask to create a report, it will create a report regarding the class table. If I select the desk, I hope it's going to create uh, a report regarding desk. Yes. And if you select the student from here and go to the create and ask to create a report, see, it's going to create us a report regarding the student. Right. So it's easy when you are going to create a particular report regarding a table. You can just click on the table over here and ask them to like create the report by visiting to the create tab and clicking on the report. Right. So when you have a report something like this, you can always use the design tools to do the arrangement. Right. So now you can see like there are admission number over here, and surname is there. Right. So it has some distance, and you can see how the page margin is working. This dotted line shows you like how many pages that this particular table has spread. So we can adjust that particular distance in between the sectors or like the fields, and manage this into a one particular A4 sheet or a particular printout. So to do that, you have to go to the view of this particular report. So I got several different views like book view and the print preview, the layout view and the design view. So we are in the report view, right? I'm sorry, now we are in the layout view, right? If you go to the report view, yeah, people just a second, I have to answer this. Right. So this is the way that particular form when it is in the form view. Now, this is the appearance that you can see when it is trying to get printed, right? So even we can go for the print preview of this particular one. This is the print preview, right? So in print preview, it shows like how the report is going to print on a particular sheet. Now, for the moment, the size that they have choose is A4, right? So as you can see, like if you really don't want to be the format like this, now this particular printout has several different problems, right? The thing is, this particular table is like spread in for 2 pages, like one particular thing is there and it's moving to the next page. See, it's in the second page. So when we are like planning a particular output, we are not going to plan a report like this. So on these cases, either we can change this into a landscape, right? So it can goes like this, right? Still they got a second page since it is being spread to the second one, right? And as well as you can change the size if you want, like instead of A4 you can go for something bigger than that, right? Like A3. And you can change the margin as well, right? So margin will define you like how much of space that you have to put, you know it by the Word document that we have learned. And you can watch both the pages, or like you can watch more pages if you got more, right? How the printing out is going to happen, right? So anyway, like when it comes to the printing, that we have this idea, like we are having the requirement that some different, like several different things need to be changed in this report, right? To have the format clearly, right? Like in case uh, if we assume that we need the report in a A4 size paper on the portrait mode, so definitely this won't be the solution, right? So we have to take these annual fee CID parts into this paper as well, and there are spaces that we can consume, right? So what we can do is we can just close the print preview and we can visit to the layout view, design view, right? And we can do the designing, right? So it will show you like how these things can be changed, right? So there are some particular components that you need to understand when it comes to the reports over here. So they have several different sections like report header, the page header, and the details, and the page footer, and the report footer, right? And report header and report footer is just allowing you to manage the header of the report and the footer of the report, right? Now here in the sense like the page header in the sense means like when we go to the report view, now these are the page headers, right? Admission number, is name, address, date of birth, annual fee, those kind of things are going to be the page headers, right? So it is going to be there as it is. And in the design view, here they put the details. So page headers will not repeat. It will be there just for once, just for one time to be used. And details, these things can be have many different rows, right? That indicating what is an admission number, what's the particular S name, what's the address, and all these things. So, but in the designing, we are not going to put it again and again, right? We just keep what are the things that we want, right? So regarding a particular label or particular field, these are the details that is going to be, right? So access in nature, it knows if something puts on the detail area, that can be repeated easily, right? And page footer, we can manage the page footer uh, with like some particular details of the page numbers and all these things. And in the report footer, they have that's the end line of that particular report. So if you need any particular things on your report footer, so you can place it over here. So in this example, they have put the sum of annual fields just over here. In the header, other than the heading and the icon, they have date and time, right? So likewise, it can be managed or it can be created. Now, our requirement was making this output into a one A4 sheet by consuming these free spaces, right? So let's see how we are going to do that. Okay, so what we can do is we can go to the design view and yeah, I can consume some of these spaces. Right, so we can reduce the size. Can you see what happens when I'm reducing the page header? Look closely what happens with the details. It adjusts automatically because they are related, right? And right, so likewise, right, so likewise, we can manage it. So to do this management, you should have a very good idea about what you are really going to create, right? So you can move it over here. Right, so if you want, you can expand this area. And can you see these dotted lines? It shows the margin of the paper. So I have taken all the things into the dotted line now. It is in this particular area. And can increase the size. Right now it seems, hold on. Yeah, let's go and see whether it's working. Oh yes, look at that. All right, so let's go and see the print preview. Ah yes, still not, still not. Why was that? Yeah, we have to take more, we have to move more. But hold on. Yeah, there's it. But remember, people, this won't be possible if you are having the lengthy data in your database, not the database, the table, right? So since we got short names, right? So I'm taking the address a little bit shorter, same with the post. Annual fees I can reduce. So normal field. Can remove these two. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to find the exact place. Okay, we'll see now. All right. Oh, yes. Yes, now it does not have. So we can just print the very first page. And if you want more space, now you can see like we need more space, right? For the address, we need some more space. Okay, so that is the way that you are going to generate a report just using a table. Is that clear, everyone? Yes, is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, so then, yeah, people, just give me a second. I have to take my little one for a moment. All right. So now let's try creating a new report, like not out of a particular table, not in a pre-formatted way. Let's create our own report, right? To have the particular details on this, right? So I'm closing down these reports. I'm not going to save them. Okay. So to create a report, like from the scratch, like from the very beginning, what we have to do is we have to go to the create and we can click on the report design, right? So when we are moving to the report design, you can see the sections, the page header, the details, the page footer is there. But like in the previous format, the report header and report footer is not here, right? Just three sections are there, right? So let me reduce the size and have some space over here so you can see it clearly. Now this is a blank one. They don't have anything else. So in the same way that we have designed a form, we can design a report from the tools that we can see over here, right? So when you go for the design view, these report design tools are being opened. So through that, you can apply a particular theme. So like it will show you the ways that you can create a report in an attractive manner. And you can use a particular font for the report. If you want group and sort things, those are some advanced stuff. You can do it. As well as you can use these tools. Right? You can have a text box, you can have a label, you can have the buttons, the folders, the hyperlinks, different kind of things. And we are not going to a much advanced one. Just the basic one is going to be there. Right? So if you want, you can insert an image, as well as if you want to insert a particular chart, you can apply that as well. And in the page numbers, logos, title, and date and time is over here. And as you saw, the add existing fields in your report, in your query, right? The same facility is given over here, right? You can take the existing fields and you can plan it, right? When you are creating the forms, you had the same window. Once you click on it, it will show you all the tables, so you can just choose the particular fields out of those tables. All right, so an arranging is there. It's like when we are creating this report, we are still creating it with the help of a table. So you can insert, update, delete those things since they are in a table, right? And you can manage the size and the space. Formatting parts are there. So if you want to change the color fonts, font colors, font types, font sizes, and the page setup, right? These are very important stuff when it comes to the report generating or like report designing, because finally we are going to print this. So to print this, we have to have these criteria to be set in a proper way. Okay. So I'm going to the report design. So I have taken this field list using add existing fields. So I got all my needed fields right at my right hand side. So from there, I'm going to take, yeah, but my purpose is to show how the uh, like we have details on the student teacher, right? This is the one we have done last time, like when we are creating a query as well. So if we need to have that as a printed one, so I'm showing you how we are going to do that. So in the student teacher table, we got admission number and TID, which shows how many hours that a particular student is taught by a particular teacher. So in case if I need this with reference of the names, right, the teaching hours, so of course we have to go for a particular uh, query, which gives us the output in table format. So if you want to have it in the printed format, of course we have to go for the particular report, right? So I'm going to do that with the help of a report. And yeah, I need the report header to tell that the student status or something, student uh, teaching learning status. So for that, I need a report header. Let's see the report header, how it is going to be inserted. Hold on. Right. Hold on. Ah, yes, there it is. In early versions, it was there in the menu. We can right click on the report design area and we can go for the report header and footer. So once I click it, this report header is given to me as well as the report footer. So I'm taking a label, place it over here and say student teaching learning report. Let's get rid of the teaching. It's just a teaching learning report. Duration report. And you can do the changes, like you can click on it and go for the formatting. You can take a different font. If you want the space, you can change the way that this particular text box is behaving. Right, and it show you like how big it is and make the alignments as well. And if you think it's too big, you can reduce it. Okay. Right, so it will be seen as your report header. So you can always like go to the report view and see how it's going to be. Right now, this is how it's going to be. Right, and you can go to the page setup and choose a particular way that you are going to work with it, and the portrait mode. Right, so let's go to the design view again and the page headers. So I need the page headers. This is since it is a teaching learning duration report. Generally, I can take the details from the student teacher because it has admission number, TID, and teaching hours. But I need what's the name of the student. So I'm going to take its name, right? And I need to know like which class that they are in as well. So I'm going to take the CID and the C name as well. We'll see whether this is going to work. And plus I need the TID, which teacher is like what has teaching in teaching hours. Right, so yeah, first I'm taking the admission number. I have selected this. Let's see what happens when the double click is done. Yes, when the double click is done, as you can see it in the form designing, both the things are there, the label and the text box. So the label, I am going to place it on the page header. Yes, hold on people, like it's not allowing me to take the admission number over here. Let's see. Yeah, let's see what's happened when we place this over there. I'm taking a small label and I'm just going to type admission number. Let me check whether yeah, cut and paste is working. So you can just cut and paste the component. Yes. Okay, so if I place it like this, Let's go and see the report view. Yeah, it's going to be like this. All right, and can you see what happens over here? The admission number happens only once, and this is the first record 1001, and here's the second record 1002, and here's the third record 1003, likewise. So it's huge. We don't need this much of space in between the rows, right, in our report. So what you can do is you can go for the design view, and the problem is this huge space in the particular report, so you can just reduce it and have it at the very top. And if you arrange it like this, and now it will show you much nicer. Yes. Right, so likewise we can now add the things. Yeah, I'm just having the thought that to get rid of the frame out of this thing. Let me see how it's going to happen. Any borders, any borders, any borders. The shape outline is there. We don't have something called null. If I take white as my shape outline, that outline will not be visible. Let me see. Yes, likewise. And if it is, yes. It's better I go with transparent. Yeah, I'll take transparent. So if it goes like that, yeah, we won't find in any borders around this, right? And if I want to make the changes like the alignment, can do it in the same way, right? So what I do is select the admission number and select the format and make it the center. So it goes like this. Okay, so likewise, we can add our own details that we want in the picture. I'm sorry, in the report, right? So let's move to the design view. So then what I'm going to take is the S name. So taking S name over here. And what does it say? New label is not associated with the content. Hold on. Take the S name again. Oh, yes. මට මෙයා දිලා නම් දෙන්න මට දෙන්න පොඩ්ඩක් මට දෙන්න Okay, people, since I was with the little one, I was muting my mic. So meanwhile, I have taken two of the fields, S name and C name from the student. From the student, I took S name. From the class, I took C name. And now from the student teacher, I'm taking TID. So my purpose is to show like the teacher names, teacher IDs on the sessions that that particular teaching and particular uh, student has carried out. So here comes the T name. Yeah, and I took teacher name as well. Finally, I'm taking the teaching hours, which finalize my need. So this is kind of a report which shows who are the students participating with which teacher in the teaching learning process. So if we take the output, right, so let's go and see how the report is now. Okay, so as you can see, my admission number, it is center align. S name, I took it as left align. C name, I took it as center align, but the alignment is a bit awkward. And TID, T name, teaching hours, they have the frames. I have to get rid of those as well. And when it comes to these headers, it's better we change it like student name, class name, teacher ID, teacher name, teaching hours, right? So we can manage those things as well. Drink medicine at the So we can double click on the particular place and we can do the formattings. Student name, class name, or we can just use the class without having name. Let me do the alignment with the student as well. Okay. And this is teacher's ID. And it's going a little bit on the teacher name, so I'm shifting it. So it's important for us to shift it in the very same way. Cheers. And teaching hours. I have to get rid of these things. Formatting the outline should be transparent. And yes, this of course I'm trying to have it. Yeah, let's have it like that. Okay, let's see how this goes. Ah, yes. Since the teacher's name, teaching hours, and in between class and teacher ID, there are unwanted space. So like, it's better we get rid of that. And it's better we have some space in between teacher ID, teacher name, and teaching hours. So we have to like have it have some distance in between. Okay, let's see how this is going to happen. Yes. Now it is a little bit clear. It's better I arrange the teaching hours into the center line. It is right aligned by default. Yes. So now it is taken into the format of the report, and we want to have different types of headers. We can make them bold simply, right? If you want different colors, you can go with a different color as well. Yes, likewise, it can be arranged. And now the design in part, right? So you can add a particular logo if you have to this particular uh, report. Let's try adding some particular image to this, some particular theme to this. Let's see how the preview is going to happen. Report view. Okay. All right. And yeah, when we need to add the page numbers, we can. It is given us the chance. Like what should be the format? It's like saying page 1, 2, 3, or like page 1 of 4, like likewise. So I'm going to get page 1. and they ask in which point that we can have. So I'm going to choose bottom of the page, footer. Alignment, I'm going to give the right alignment, and I will ask to show number on the first page. So once I press OK, yes, here it is. And when we go for the preview, yes, you can see page 1 is there. And if you want some distance, what are we going to do? We are going to make this particular one a little further down, right? So you can go with like that. So in case if your report is going to like extend into another page, so it will show you page 2, right? Like you could see page 1 over here, right? And after I entering the theme, you can see some of the characters like R over here is hidden, right? So ID over here is hidden. So I can do the necessary changes. Right, and what else we can do? Yes, yeah, they are asking like we can use the title for the report in a different way, and if you want, we can add the date and time. Again, it asks how the date and time should be included, so you can choose any particular format. If you want, we can get rid of the time, right? And we can press OK. So it's by default. Let me see. I think it's not by default. Yeah, I think it's by default fixing to this particular point. Might give me a minute. Yeah, people, sorry for the disturbance. Yeah, let me arrange these particular things. Yes, this will do. And yeah, what I was trying to do is like I was clicking on a different area and trying to insert a date and time. So just the date. So it's by default, it's adding to the report header. So it's the place. So once we go there, yes, this is the way that they are going to show us the report. Right. And yeah, so this is like almost the basic stuff that we need to know. Like there are some advanced way that we can deal with this report as well. Right. So, but these are the basic things that we have to know regarding a particular table when we are creating a table. Okay, people, is it clear with how you are right creating a table?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay, that's great. Okay, so let's move to the book and see any particular things that you need to get through. Yes, okay. Okay, so they have some things regarding these fees. Get the total of the fees, I guess. Mhm. Yes, they are just showing us like how to take the sum of the fees onto your report. So let's take that as well. So like we can have the total number of teaching hours over here. So we go to the design view, and now what you have to remember is like when you need to get a total something like this, it should not be repeated as these things, right? So like if you are going to put the total, you should put the total at the page footer. If you put it on the details, the total is going to repeat again and again. So here we are going to put the total, right? So let's have the footer a little bit longer and we'll take the page number downwards. And I'm going to take a label saying the total hours. And then I'm going to take the checkbox, sorry, a text box. And this text box is going to give you the particular total of the teaching hours, right? So in the way that you have book has described, since we got the this particular one, yeah, so we have to go with the control source of the property window. So the control source is over here, right? Right over here. So we have to take that particular box and click on that in front of the control source, and we have to click on these dots, and then it gives us the expression builder. So we are going to create a function. So yeah, we need the sum of total hours, right? So I'm taking the built-in functions, and then I can see what are the built-in functions that are over here. So if you take all, I need the sum of it. So yeah, okay, sum is there. So I use sum and the expression. And for the expression, I'm going to use the student DBs, the tables, and in that student teachers teaching hours, Yes, I hope this is going to work with that, and I'm say okay. Right. Hold on. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of this. This is total hours. Okay, let's see whether it's going to work, people. I hope this is going to work. Oh, it gives us an error. That's the problem. Uh-huh. Oh, the equal sign is missing, I guess. Oh no, equal sign is there. Yes, this is some problem in the expression. Let me see. Yeah, we have went on the same way that they have given. Yes. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, the source is also okay. Okay, people, for some reason the expression is not working. I'm just wondering why. With the control, associate label with the control. That's the association. I don't think that will fix the things. No, some particular reason. Why is that? Let me do this from the beginning. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So, Inamangena. But we not Yes. So Hara, go and keep it in the fridge, please. Please. Yes, hold on. Okay. But I'm going again. I'm taking this sum. Let's go with equal sum. Let's refer the book in case if I'm doing something wrong. Equal sum, they just take the yes, the table name and the last name, that's all. Yeah, they just ask me to type. Instead of typing, I'm just getting it. Yeah, let me cross check it. It needs the yes, the open parenthesis and the close parenthesis. Yes, I hope this would work. No, for some reason it's not coming, people. Like, let me see what it is, right? Okay, so other than that, everyone, like we are done with the lesson and we know how to print this as well. I show you like by visiting the print preview, right? So that will be the end of the grade 10 syllabus. So by next week, I'm going to start the grade 11 syllabus, right? Which I'm starting with the programming, right? And there are some things to be learned as well. And of course, I need you to try some database questions as well. So by next week, first I'm going to the database questions. Then I will take you to the programming part, right? So, and meanwhile, I'll go through what happens why the error is coming over here, right? For the moment, I won't be, like, I'm not getting what it is, right? So, let's see. Okay, so people, I'm going to end the session from this point only for today, right? So by next week, we are going to do some questions regarding the database and move into the grade 11. So if your friends are there who are willing to connect with the grade 11 onwards, so give your message, right? So we are starting the grade 11 by next week onwards. Right. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a very nice weekend. Not the weekend. Have a very nice day. I'll see you next week for the very same time.
Thank you, sir. Goodbye, sir. Have a nice
Right. Okay. Good.
Goodbye.
Right. Okay. Good night, everyone. Thank you. Goodbye.